Welcome to another exciting breakdown. Today we are dissecting the event flow of a dynamic weather app, right from input to the API to the dynamic weather UI. What we see as a result, what we input, the user input to the result we see in the UI. We are going to dissect it step by step. So, very first thing there, I am going to say you have seen weather app show temperature and forecast, but how does a raw data transform into a fully responsive UI that changes its background and a button theme based on real world? Have you ever wondered how this really work inside an application? Let me break down the entire flow from input to the API to the dynamic rendering. Step by step, we are going to see this. If you're really interested in knowing how an application really runs inside, so this is the best channel for you. Let's get started without wasting our time. Very first thing I'm going to say, there are main six actor in this application. So these are the main six actors who runs this application. So first is the user. So first is the user. The user trigger the system. User trigger the system means user gives the input. It can be anything: search, click, enter. Okay. The browser UI or browser or the UI. It captures the input, sends the output. It has only jobs to take the input, show the output. The JS engine. JS engine is the brain of this application, and it controls the logic and fetch it. The external API which returns real-time data. Okay, you can get it for free. Just search it. Then we have data and condition phraser. It extracts the useful value from the response we get from the API. Okay, it extracts the useful value like uh, what is the condition of the climate, what means humidity, temperature, etc., etc. And the last one we have the background engine and the button theme engine. They are just for styling purpose. We will see later on this video. Of our application. Before demo, I'm just going to tell you that this flow is divided in 7 sections. So let's look at the demo. Here you have the input. Okay, you can see the initial render. It's nothing happening. Okay, we reload, initial reload page. Nothing is happening unless and until a user trigger an event. Okay, I just type Mumbai and just enter, and you can see. So unless and until user triggers the input or user perform an event, the page or the application do nothing. Okay, you can see more like, and okay, you can see the background also changes according to the condition. You can see more. Okay, let's just type Brazil. Okay, no difference. So this is our page, and just refresh. Okay, now we will go through it how this actually work. We type something, data, how data flow, how control flow work inside this application. We will look at each and every step one by one. So our very first section is system trigger. Okay, user types a city name. As you see, I type city name, click search or enter. You just saw what I did. Browser capture and forward that event. Key point I want to say here is that app does nothing. As usual, I say before, app does nothing until the user triggers it. Input is the key. So now our second section is browser to JavaScript engine. For that, I'm just going to show you one visual flow diagram. So this is a visual flow diagram of this application. You can see user triggers an input, it goes to browser or the UI. As usual, I said before, browser does nothing on their own. It just takes the input, pass the output, shows the output. That's all. So it takes the event, it passes it to the JavaScript engine. This is our second section, and in this, browser is the interface. JavaScript engine is the orchestrator. What JavaScript engine do here is that it controls the logic. What it do the input validation, URL constructions, and fetch request initiation. Now what happened after this? The constructed URL, the constructed URL, that is the get request. JavaScript sends a get request to this API, OpenWeatherMap API. And what API do is that it just checks is everything fine, URL constructed properly, no API key is validate, and after that it just API key is validate means the limit of the API key. After everything is okay, it will give the response to the JavaScript engine in a JSON format. And in this JSON data, we have all the details, including temperature, condition, rain, sunrise, timestamp, everything. We don't keep all data, we extract what matter. Okay, we will not keep all these because it have a lot of data, but we only shows some data like you see. Yeah, it shows humidity, visibility, wind, and feel like, and temperature, smoke. That's all. Sunrise and sunset. So these are the only extracted data from the JSON response or the JSON data, but in that data we have a lot more to show. We will do that afterward. We'll return a JSON data that goes to the JavaScript engine. JavaScript engine will pass it to the data and condition Parser, and what it does, it will just extract all the data from all the data. It will extract the important things that we need. As I show, these are the things it will extract and transform in a readable format, like Kelvin to Celsius, timestamp to readable time, and all that things. It just do the math calculation in it, and then it will pass that data to these two engine. One is responsive background engine, and another is button theme engine. So now here comes the section 5, where we are going to see dual theme engines. One is responsive BG engine and button theme engine. What happens in this two when the data from here is passed to this two engine? So as you know, this is what application look like. It change the background. It also change the background according to the condition. How does this happen? This background effect happens with the help of this engine, responsive BG engine. Also, it has one more feature that I'm going to show you just now. Just inspect element. Okay, and okay, so now you can see the background has changed, okay, according to the size of the device. Now you can see this is for tab, and now this is for tab. Okay, this is for tab, this is for mobile application, and if I cut this inspect element, okay, and this is for desktop application. So this is the reason for this visual effect. And also for button, you can see, how can I show you? Okay, this, okay, this changed to orange, you can see, according to the background. If I again go to Brazil, okay, now it has changed. So this happened because of this button theme engine. So now let's just check how and what it does. So now what happens, this data get passed. Okay, now the condition of that state or of that country is passed to this engine. This engine will check the condition and change the background. Also, it has a feature where it checks the device size and changes its background. So these are the two things that this engine will perform. And then we have a button theme engine also. It will check. What this will do is that this will just check for the background. Okay, the button theme must visually match the background but remain readable. Okay, it will match the background according to the background color. And the background isn't random. Okay, the background isn't random in this application. That's a data driven and a device aware. Okay, it is, this application is aware of the device, and that's how it works. Now the final section 6 is the UI rendering. So now this will pass a data to browser UI, and this will also pass the data to browser UI. This will tell that this will be the search button color and border color and also hover color, and this will pass to this browser UI. And responsive background engine will pass the condition as well as the background. Okay, this get passed, and that's how browser gets the input, and it will shows the output, and user will see the visual effect. But in on all this flow, this is the error path. What happens here is that if user internet is slow or offline, so this error happens. What happens when the user trigger, you pass and JavaScript construct the URL, it goes to the OpenWeatherMap API, but as it will not, because user is offline. Here it will break. It will not pass here because user is offline. It will break and shows the network error. Also, if the key is invalid, API key is invalid, then too it will give the error. Okay, how API key invalid check? This will check from here. This API will reject. It's the external part, and the rejection happens in three states. First is the invalid key. Okay, this external API will say that key is not valid. Second is the city input. If user type a city which does not exist in this data for an API a data, so it will shows that city not found, and the quota that we have a limit. If user cross the limit, it will shows the error. So this is the error path, and that's all for today. There is one mistake, sorry for that, in this flow. There is one just a small minor mistake, but it will cause a lot. And that is, this is the JS engine. It pass the URL, and the API will pass the JSON response, that is JSON data. It gets to this JSON data. That JSON data get passed to the data and condition parser. And here what happens, we just take the important value, extract the important value from the data, and that data is passed to this, and this will return, this responsive BG engine will return BG applied, means background applied, not this will return the data. Okay, that data, the important data is directly returned from here. There should be one line from here to this browser. Okay, here this will just, I told you earlier, these are just for styling purpose. So that's all. That is the small minor error, but caused a lot in this flow, because eventually we see, what we see is this browser shows the output, but how the browser gets the input from here, the means the important value, whatever extracted value from the data is passed to here. There should be one line over here. That's all. And this is just for styling purpose. They also gets the data. Okay, they also gets the data. But what happens? They don't return the value, data extracted data value. They return the styling, that is background, button, theme applied, all that things. Okay, that's all for today. We will continue in the next video for another application. Also, the correct flow of the system you will find on my Git repo. I will just give the link in the description. Just go and check it out. Thank you for watching. See you next time in the next video.